that nigga, I'm that nigga, I'm that nigga, ain't I clean? That machine, super cool, super clean.
What's going on, man? It's Eddie Ramon out here in the Atlanta HQ studios doing it real big with my man Nick Fury.
That's right, Nick Fury in the building.
Hey, mega pimp, super clean, the coolest in the universe. Niggas hating on what he doing, just mad 'cause they ain't do.
So how did you get your name?
I got my name a long time ago. Actually, my friends, they called me Fury and everything. I wasn't originally Nick Fury, but Nicholas happens to be my real name.
Right.
And but I was Fury like for years and years. I was a rapper.
Okay.
I take you back some years. I was a rapper and I was just Fury. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as I started getting professional in the production, I wanted to change my name, something more friendly. It sound, you know what I mean? Fury, just like Fury. So I wanted to put a little good with the bad, make it a little friendly for the household.
Right.
And I added the Nick to the Fury, and it just so happens that there was a comic book character out for years that I didn't even know about.
Okay.
And, boom, you know, I'm the real Nick Fury though, because I'm really Nick and I've been Fury. So
What made you start producing?
like I said, I was a rapper and I needed beats.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I got tired of doing a little, rapping on people's instrumentals. I wanted to be more creative and do something myself.
Right.
So I used to loop like a little drum track on one sampler, and then add a little melody track on the other, and then boom, just so I could rap. You know what I mean? But that became more fun to me. It was just more creative outlets that I liked with producing than it was rapping. You know what I mean? And I just went, sky high with the production.
Now that you say that, man, a lot of people I talk to that are producing, a lot of them started because of the same reason. Because beats are like, back then they were expensive and they still are expensive. So a way for them to save money on their production side would be to learn how to produce themselves. And then, which to me, I think that's like a brilliant idea, man.
Right.
Because
not to mention the love of it.
Exactly, the passion.
The passion of it.
How long have you been producing?
Professionally, about 10 years.
10 years. Decades.
Yeah,
Okay.
No doubt. Professionally, like 10 years. But I was doing it before that, you know what I mean? I was doing it years and years before that. I sold my first beat for $500 to a group called the Grady Babies.
Where are you from?
I'm from Jersey. I lived in Atlanta for some years, but I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Don't forget that.
Shout outs to New Jersey.
Jersey in the building, not Jersey Shore.
Right.
This is Newark, New Jersey. We used to go down the shore, have a lot of fun. But I spent some time in the South as well in the earlier years when the South music was just starting to bubble. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was in that crowd coming up, and so I see it as I've had the best of both worlds, the East and the South.
Right.
Which the East has been running the music business for hip hop business for years.
Right.
Now the South is on it, so I got a little up north swag, a little down south swag, mix it up together.
But that's good, man, because exactly, a lot of things, nowadays, you got to be versatile, man. You don't want to be a producer that somebody comes to for just a certain type of sound.
Right.
So the fact that you have experiences in both, up north and down south, that makes you a lot more valuable for the game and for artists you deal with, man.
Right.
So I definitely tip my hat to you for that, man.
Because every artist you go to is not gonna want a hip hop beat, and every artist you go to is not gonna want a trap beat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Some producers, they only specialize in that one type of beat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You just can't get as big as you can be. You know what I mean? Being versatile, getting into rock, getting into R&B and pop and things like that.
Who inspires you, man?
Who inspires me? Dr. Dre is one of my big inspirations. He's been in it for years. He's a good businessman. He does good music. You know what I mean? Music that's timeless and that's lasted. He's just one producer to look up to as far as his longevity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He keeps me in the game.
Right.
I came up on him, and then still today you'll turn the radio and then there's a Dre beat.
Exactly. He's a veteran, man. He's a veteran in the game. I look up to him a lot too, man. Him and Timberland.
And that was the next person.
Timberland's dope, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, just innovators, man.
That's right.
You consider yourself an innovator?
Yes.
Cool,
I definitely do.
I mean, I think you do. I think you are, man. Me personally, just based off of what you've worked on, you know.
I try to be very innovative when I'm making my tracks and not be the norm or not, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, okay, everybody's in the studio right now doing the same thing I'm doing. What can I do that they're not going to be doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And not pressure yourself about it. Just at the same time, bring your style to the game.
Exactly.
When did you start taking your music seriously? Like, you know what? I'm gonna stop playing around. I'm not gonna work no more 9 to 5. I'm not gonna take bullshit from the manager or anybody telling me what to do. What I want to do is, because people go through that, man, you know, and I'm one of them, man. I've been through that, you know, enough to know, hey, forget that, you know. I think I'm worth a lot more. You know? So when did you say, you know what, I'm gonna take this to the next level and become somebody?
I mean, I was always thinking that, like, that was always my goal. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Some people, you know, they graduate high school, they go to college, and they're like, okay, I'm about to get this job.
Yeah.
You know, I graduated high school, I was like, okay, I'm about to be a producer. That's, you know, boom. That's when I started taking it serious.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I didn't have to wake up and go to school the next day, you know, I woke up and I was about to make my beat, make my song, and figure out what type of connections I was going to get to do a show or anything like that. You know what I mean? I made myself, I was like, all right, I want to be a music producer. And in the music business, I did what people in the music business and producers did.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's when I started taking it serious.
You went out there and you got it, man. You didn't wait for nobody to try to put you on or knock on your door and say, hey, I got an opportunity for you. I heard you the one that makes beats in this apartment floor, you know. Things that people don't understand, that don't happen, man. You got to go out there and get it. Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's right.
What kind of equipment do you use?
I use DAW systems and everything, you know.
Okay.
Everybody's on the Fruity Loops these days.
Right.
It's a nice sound on those, but I'm more from the true school when beats were just made with one machine, and those are Akai MPCs. Right now I work on an MPC 4000, which I call it the MPC S500, like the Benz.
Okay.
But you know, it's an analog sound and a sequencer on here that you don't get in a DAW system, whether it's Reason. It's just a different swing. It's a different thump with your samples, with your kicks, with your, you know, with everything.
I heard about that.
Sound.
I heard about these drum machines. Like, you get a much more heavy sound when you press that button. You know, it's just harder kick, harder snare, harder hi-hats, harder everything, you know?
And I run everything, before I even hit the DAW system, I run everything through an analog board, usually a Mackie, because Mackie has some classic EQs, dates back to 1604.
Right.
And then I go from analog to digital and everything. So, you know, it's a difference. If you're an engineer, if you kind of know what you're listening for, you know, you can tell. A lot of ears today are trained to like the sound of all digital.
Right.
But you know, there's nothing like that warmth of analog. It's like they're actually standing right there in front of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's definitely a difference. So I try to mix both of them together.
Yeah.
And bring a modern sound with a classic sound.
What was your first opportunity you got in this industry?
My first opportunity, let's see. Well, my first opportunity was an opportunity that almost didn't happen, because it kind of didn't happen, but I got so much other valuable things from that situation, which was a big situation.
Right.
But the situation was a placement, my first placement, which was on Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
And it was on Busta Rhymes' album. I went there. They went, his cousin went crazy over the beat. Next day, I'm in the studio with Busta Rhymes, and then he's calling me on the phone. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was a wild situation, because you know, these were the days when, before they cut your record, they had to give you your half, your up front. Okay. I mean, your first half. So boom, I got my first half of the track. Bus went in there, recorded it. He didn't necessarily do the song justice. You know, the record was killer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I mean, this wasn't the proper marriage at that time.
Right.
Like that. You know what I mean? But like what happened from that situation, the song didn't go on the album, but I would walk in Bus's studio and everybody was like, oh, you're the guy who did that beat? Just off of this one beat, you know what I mean? And then I'd be on the street and Bus would be like, yo, what up? Come in, yo. Like, it was crazy, you know what I mean? So I got a lot more out of that, and not to mention, I got my up front, I got my first half, which is like impossible today.
Right.
You know what I mean? You barely get paid, and your record's double platinum already. You know what I mean?
A lot of things change, man.
Oh yeah.
That's cool, man. It had been an exciting moment for you in your life.
Oh yeah. But like I said, it was the excitement of my first placement to the disappointment of it not going on the album.
Yeah.
But years down the line, you can appreciate that situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So much more, because that's one thing that happened that gives you more drive to want to keep going hard.
Absolutely. And I think things like that are good for producers. You know,
right? Exactly.
Because that type of stuff lets you know that you're in the right direction.
Right.
Because what a lot of people don't understand is people that start to get into the industry, there's really no way to how to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No directions, there's no booklet that's gonna tell you step by step.
This is what you got to do to get famous.
Right.
You know, you just kind of play it by ear and you learn as you go. So I'm sure that helped you, you know, encourage you and kept your spirit up to like, hey, I'm gonna keep it moving, man. This shows me I'm good. I was in the studio with Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying?
Calling me on the phone, like, something right.
Who have you worked with in the industry? Name a couple people.
I've done a lot with T.I. I've done a lot with B.O.B. You know, I've done a lot of work with the Atlantic artists. You know, with the help of Mike Karen, Trick Daddy. And then, like, you know, I'm from Jersey, so I'm from like hip hop, hip hop, you know, coast and era.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I work with Wu-Tang Clan. I work with Nas.
Wow.
On the Illmatic remix album. I did two joints on remixes of his classic album, which is the album I grew up to. So
Yeah.
That was a crazy honor just to do that.
Man, that's some big names in the game. Nas, you know, I grew up listening to Nas. Wu-Tang, I'm a big fan of RZA. You know, I love RZA as a producer, man. I think he's a very talented guy. He innovated a lot. I think he trendsetted big time back in the day. Give some knowledge to the youth, man, of kids trying to come up and be in a position like you are today, man. Just trying to, you know, be successful in their craft, man. And you know, a lot of kids get discouraged, man, because they get shot down so much and they don't know where to go. Like, to them, that discourages them, and they don't want to make a beat because somebody just said it sucked. So
well, I mean, I can do just by the Busta Rhymes story. You know what I mean? You just gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep mashing. If I would have let that situation get me, nothing else would ever happen. You know what I mean? So you gotta just keep pushing, man. That's the best advice I can always say. No matter how many people say no, you know what I mean? If you feel it in your heart, then just keep doing it. And the other thing is, you know, study what that person does or what a producer does, and then become that.
exactly.
You become what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
So, you know, as long as you think positive thoughts and you're focused on what it is that you're trying to do, no matter what it is, become that.
Exactly.
You know, be your actor of your movie.
Yeah.
Until it's real.
That's what's up, man. I mean, that's how I think, you know, at least when I'm trying to do anything in life, man. Because I think first of all, you got to know your value.
Right.
You know, you got to believe in yourself. You know, self-respect, give respect. Study, you know, hit records on the top 100.
Yeah.
You know, see how they're doing it. Because if you're making something similar to it, then you're making $1 million beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I definitely applaud you on what you said on that, man. Because I can definitely, I can relate to that. You know, because I do the same thing. Well, Nick Fury, it was good being with you today, man.
Likewise, bro.
And we got a lot of things to do in the future. He's already been chopping it up with me about what we're gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Ramon TV, checking out.
Eddie, Nick Fury.
Just to say I miss you. It won't be long before I'm home, baby. What the rent's due. Charles Hamilton, what does it do? Asher Roth is super sick like Hachichu. B.O.B. spitting the truth all up in this booth. Change gon' come, so sing along to this tune. Yeah, man. November 4th.